Hey everyone, this will be a reaction to the article Body Ritual Among the Nasarima, and it's also a reaction to how ritual should be worked throughout the US culture, because a lot has changed back then. This will mainly be a reflection of what American culture and Nasarima culture is, and how they are vastly different. Until reading this article, I had no idea what Nasarima meant or was. So I was quite confused up until I was told about this article. I at first thought it was America, but from a vague time period that wasn't explained. But now that I have been told what Nasarima was, I can say that I was completely wrong. Nasarima is a culture where they incarcerate humans in the hope to make powerful influences of their own strange ritual. So, yeah, basically like a cult. Their belief is that the human body is ugly, and so they disease humans. Now, I don't know about you, but these don't sound like humans. Because you see the irony here, right? Presumably, these humans are incarcerating other humans because they find humans to be an abomination on society. So, they change characteristics through ritual, likely unaware that they're humans too, unless they've been changed through ritual and are somehow alive. Anyway, so the Nasrima culture has been just a crazy amount of people. Thankfully, they don't exist anymore, so no incarcerating humans in the U.S. If anything, they sound like the opposite of the U.S., so good. Anyway, you know that there are rituals and just traditional events that have been shown throughout the history of the U.S.'s time. They're rituals of just religious and just various types of religious types of things. I don't know what to call it between rituals and obviously cults, and all sorts of unusual sightings and motion brought to the world. For example, I mean, I go to church like normal. I shouldn't say it like that. I go to church from a Christian standpoint. I should cut that out. Anyway, so a common ritual in Christianity is baptism. So the one I'm used to is just submerging someone into a pool of water and then taking them back out. Whereas at a Catholic church, I've seen how baptism works in there, where they just simply take a small bowl of water and just pour them on their heads, and they count that as baptism, even though sometimes it does not seem like it's against their will. It's used on babies sometimes. They don't drown them or anything. Anyway, the point is that these rituals have been an idea for such a long time, and some of these even before the U.S. was even founded. Now, there are some rituals that have changed, like the Nasrima not existing anymore, but also some rituals were closely observed by many, many different types of people. And they don't need an occupation for observing certain movements or rituals. They don't need a job for it. They can just observe it on their own and just talk about it online. For example, Christian baptism was normally done by lakes or beaches. That's how Jesus was baptized. And then later on into, I'd say maybe, I don't know, the 1970s to 2010s, they have put pools in churches, sometimes right under the stained glass in the sanctuary, where everyone can see it happen. Nowadays, they do a bit of both, where sometimes they do baptism under the stained glass, or just at pools in churches, and sometimes they do them at lakes or beaches. I've been to a few baptisms at my own church where they do the baptism over at a river. So what you can see is that They're trying to be respectful to how the ritual was done back then, while trying to keep it on with modern times as well. And that's just one example. There's so many different types of rituals that are trying to make these slight changes to how its history has impacted them. So I think that these changes for the U.S. culture, specifically for U.S., is great. I like how it's letting people do their own rituals as long as it's not hurting anyone or themselves. And the government doesn't get involved. People just do what they believe in without harm. The only times that it is detrimental is when they hurt someone, which is kind of rare, but when it happens, normally the cult, because it might as well as a cult if it's hurting someone, then they do get sued by the government, because it's starting to get debated whether or not it's supposed to be even legal to do these rituals, because rituals are supposed to help us be more impactful and calm within the world. And and as Fearless Culture has said, rituals help us focus, deal with anxiety, and make us feel more confident. All right, so that's my reflection on rituals, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, and have a good day.